tiger on the prowl. I'ma make it go wild. I'm original, and I told you so. I'm a kid in the candy store. Put the leather on the denim. I ain't the cure, I'm the venom. If you wanna find me, find the taillight. Something's coming in, you're gonna wanna take a red eye. It's time to go. It's time to go. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. I don't wait for nobody. I'm a summer name on the dotty. City lights call my name, drawn to the flame, and I'm feeling kinda naughty. I hit the ground running, step out the door and I'm stunning. Better hold tight cause you know what's going down. I'm setting the pace cause this is my town. So get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink.
What up, Wednesday? Hello, friends. I'm Keely Dunn, FH Umpires, your umpire whisperer. I've decided I need to use my catchphrase. My catchphrase. I made it up and literally nobody says it but me. But hey, why not? It is so good to be here and great to see you. I'm still organizing a few things because I thought my computer was all booted up. So I use a different computer specifically for live streaming and I thought I was ready and I wasn't. But whatever, you know, this is how we roll. This is just like umpiring. You show up for your game, you think you're all set up, and I don't know, your bus breaks down 3 times on the way to the pitch, and then there's a hurricane on the field. That happened. Puerto Rico, CAC games, 2010. Not a hurricane, but like a deluge, a downpour. So yeah, game was like 4 hours late because none of the umpires are there because we were all on the same bus. And it was my game, obviously. That's how it would go. What are we doing today? Holy smokes. So many questions. And there will be many, many answers as well. Got to keep it even, right? For all the questions, got to be an answer. And I want to make it clear, like I had an interesting question come in on Instagram and it was all very much like, you've got the answers. Well, I have answers. I think they're good answers and I think they're convincing answers, but they're not the only answers. So I don't ever want to come across as the only or the ultimate or whatever. I am just part of this community and we are building that consensus. I just happen to be the crazy woman who likes to get on camera and talk to you every Wednesday. And I've got some experience, so that's worthwhile. But again, not the only one. Oh, you know what I don't have is I don't have my comment window. And I need that if I'm going to bring all your beautiful phrases and banter in. So let me do this and let me review that. What are we doing today? Okay. As I said, so many questions and many answers. We are going to talk about a few little things like when players step off the pitch. What do we do? We're going to talk about the process of carding captains for substitutions, just a few little details we're going to talk about there. We're going to follow up on last week or the week before, the conversation we had about the red card that happened in the Hooft class, and diving. we're going to talk about that a little bit because I've had some follow-up questions come through, and one in particular. We're going to talk about aerials and goalkeepers because that happened on the Facebooks, and we're going to straighten this out. And we're going to hopefully get around to why photos can't prove obstruction. And what does obstruction even mean these days? Let's have like just a light chat, just like 5 minutes. We'll deal with it. It'll be fine. So, friends, who's here? Who's on board? I want to see. Oh, glasses are on point today. I'm not mad at this. There we go. I'm ready to smash my stream deck, says Lucio. Oh, I'm sorry that you can't make it, Ian. But hey, we have replays. And what I like to do on the live streams that I miss is that I write in the comments as if I were on the live show. It's really annoying for the people who have to go through the comments and figure out what you were talking about at that moment. But look, I never said I was an angel. Rachel's here, pouring a Merlot. Great to see you. Niels, moderator and Discord server administrator extraordinaire. Simon's here. Good to have you back. My arms, both of them, whichever one, if that's... See, this is my left arm. I'm pointing at my left arm, and I think it's right to you. This is my right arm, and it's left to you. Look, I learned it in drama class back when I was in junior high. Yeah, of course I was in drama. Actually, I was in drama in high school too. Those were the days. Lucio's here, as always. You feel like the Discord link should be added to the center description. Point taken, sir. It shall. You have said it, and it shall be done. Because, look, okay, I'll talk about Discord in a sec. Focus.
Squirrel.
Okay. Yay. And there it is. Niels has popped that in there. We'll chat more about that too. And let's see. Yeah. If this is, like I've said this before, if this is your second or third time on the stream, I think we're ready. I think we're ready to take that step together. I think it's time for a subscription and the notification bell. But I'm not the boss of you, right? I want you to feel like a fully willing participant in this journey that we're on together. So it's just a suggestion, but honestly, I think we're ready for it. Let's do it. Simon's popping in just for a few minutes, but doing that thing that we all want to do, which is actually umpire. Congratulations. Aren't you lucky? Gary is here. Good evening, Keely and the third team from a now cloudy Woodford Green in Essex, though still very warm. It's only 27 today. It was supposed to be 31. And if you follow me if you're friends with me on the Facebooks, or you want to go pop over the Instagram and see what I was doing yesterday. Oh, wow. I was up in the mountains kayaking, and it was so stunning. I've had calmer, but we had very calm water, and it was gorgeous. And here's the thing. I didn't rub the sunblock in on my feet very well. One of my feet. I have these little patches of burnt toes on my left foot only. What? I know. Like only me, right? True story. There we go. Yeah, we'll pop the Discord link in, and it will be part of the standard package. Absolutely right. Justified. Cat's here. Yay. Good to see you, hun. Gopi is here. Excellent. Always happy to see you. Tuning in very late from India. Gopi, tell me exactly what city you're in again, because I think you've told me and I've forgotten because I'm a monster. Ready to smash the stream deck. Absolutely I am. And Niels, if you want people to stop asking me about it, you should stop talking about it. I'm just saying. Yes, Nick, you're in the house. That's just for you, because I know you like it so much. Scott Riley, awesome. Raj is here. Yay, it's been a hot minute, so thanks for tuning in. Crispy here, looking chirpy. Man, I'm in a great mood. I was listening to my favorite tunes. I have a playlist that I listen to before every live stream, and I've got to that point now, like Corey, I just start singing with my headphones in, and I don't even care. I'm like, whatever. It's been 5 years. Like, I don't need to impress him anymore. And I'm probably a lot better of a singer in my head than I am in reality. So poor guy. But I feel good. This is the thing you have to do, right? You got to get yourself feeling the way that you know you perform your best in. And for some people, it's taking their activation levels down. For me, in a live stream, it's bringing them up. Bringing them up. Smashing some Stream Deck. Some Rodecaster Pro. Yay! Leela and Arthur are here. Oh my God. Go to at El Sacre. You have to. You just have to. Go to El Sacre on Instagram. The baby photos. Look, am I biased? Probably. But he is super hot. Really, really, really cute. And thanks again to Leela for joining us on Friday for the chat we had. It was a lot of fun. It was pretty serious at times. We got into stuff. We dove in a deep manner. It was very, very useful. Fanry's here, and she never says hi. So now she does, because I've bugged her. There you go. Alex is here, in and out, because you have some other things to do. I don't know what that means, but whatever. Okay. There's the Facebook page. Oh my God, Niels, you are all over it, sir. How can you possibly type so quickly? I don't even know. My mental health day at the mountains was glorious. Thank you very much. It was very hard. I had a long meeting on Monday night that was very, very difficult, and I was absolutely, so I cleared things off, and we packed up the kayaks for the first time, and yeah, it was amazing. So go look at the pictures and be jealous. Thank you, Godders. Yeah, it was, fantastic. Can you believe? So that's a 2-hour drive for me. And that is going deep into K country. You don't have to go that far into Kananaskis to get that, but that particular lake is just my favorite, and it's beautiful. So we're going to try to branch out into some other lakes, but you're kind of like, can we go back to Upper Kananaskis? Yes, we can. And you just feel like visiting it. And what was really weird is that the water level was so low that there were places that we would normally sort of like little inlets and stuff we could kayak into that we couldn't, that were blocked because there were islands or something that had popped out of the ground like daisies. No, that had been exposed because the water levels were literally that low. So amazing. This could be a heavy duty battle of the ages. I like it, Nick. Show me some more pictures of your puppy. Putting the kids to bed. And yeah, of course you do. I use shortcuts for everything as well. There you go. There's the link to Leela's Instagram. Okay. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I'm like, what are all my other buttons? Because I've gotten really focused on the ones that I have. But there you go. Puppies. Okay. Oh, you guys. Let's go through some announcements and then let's get into the questions because there are many. And I'm counting on my mod team to keep me on track so that I don't talk for too long. It's already 12:15. Like, what am I doing? Okay. Here's some announcements for you. First and foremost, holy smokes, am I ever excited. Wait, my Stream Deck on my phone, I literally just turned it off because I don't know. Where did it go? Announcements. I'm confused. I'm just going to do it this way. First of all, Tom Hudson. Tom passed his level 1 assessment last week, and I absolutely love hearing great news like this. If you are doing some things and you're getting some passes and some assessments or something great happens to you, please send along because you have no idea how good it makes me feel every week. So, and he said some stuff about the videos and whatever. And I'm really glad I can have any part in helping, but it just means so much to me when people reach out. So congratulations to Tom. I don't know if he's on the stream or not today. I think he wasn't going to be there, but hey, you can watch this in perpetuity and you can clip this moment to be like, yes, this is when I got thanked, or I got applauded with air horns on the YouTubes. There you are. Announcements. What else do we need to talk about? Okay. There was this really fun thing. I thought I had this all straight. Indoor Hockey UK. So I get an email from Will. Hey, I'm going to put something on the socials tomorrow. I'm like, cool. All right. And then boom, he plastered it everywhere and it's wonderful. So a partnership with Indoor Hockey UK. We've been talking about it loosely for a little while and we are going to get this going. I'm very excited about the prospect of doing what I've really been gearing up to do. I love helping individuals, but also there's this other side to what we do with FH Umpires, which is producing all the resources, workshops and clip library and establishing development groups and the structure for that and facilitating it so that your hockey umpire associations can do the things that you do best, which are having your people on the ground. So your volunteers, your umpire coaches, your umpire mentors, all those people, they're freed up. They don't have to go looking for clips. They don't have to go looking for workshop materials and that sort of thing. They are freed up so they can spend time with umpires on the ground. So I am really stoked about this. And I'm just going to give myself this. Thank you, Roadcaster Pro. Jane, you're a little late and you've been missing a couple weeks. I'm not mad. Don't you worry. It's just always good to see you. There you are. Yeah. Well, call me. We can get these things set up. Okay. It's just a question of communication and a little bit of persuasion. Just saying. So that is one thing. Obviously, that is well supported by the whole thing that we do with, this is what the FHU3 team is about. So just in case you haven't signed up, I mean, you guys all have, whatever. But $3 a month for green and yellow with the huddles. Now, oh my gosh. So this leads right into the Discord discussion here. Okay. This is just a shortcut for the link that Niels is very excited about putting all over the chat because this is kind of popping. I am not mad at this whole Discord thing. At first, look, I looked at it and I went, what is this kid trying to get me into? This seems like a ball of trouble. And then we spent some time talking in it. I tried a watch party for Yellow where not only did I stream into the Facebook group, but I also streamed into the Yellow channel in the Discord server, and it was pretty cool. Now, I think what we're going to do instead of that is integrate into the Wednesday live streams and maybe some umpire at home live streams. But anyway, what I wanted to say specifically about this Discord server, if you're confused and you're scared about it, don't worry. We all are. We all have fear, but this is about us pushing into our uncomfortable zones and coming out the other side smarter, stronger, and hipper than we were before. We can do this. We can do this. After the stream today, I'm going to be in the server and we're going to have an after party. So come on by, go join, go sign up. Niels is going to help you out. If you have questions, he's the guy, and do it. Oh, Roger! Yes, you're back. Yes, you are, because you knew I was going to say your name today. I know you were. Wait, see, my stream deck is just not what I wanted to be, but I wanted to thank all these lovely, lovely green team people. Paul Harriman, David Robertson, Simon Jackson, who was in and probably is already gone and he's missed his big moment. Shelley Price, who I have a question from later on. Karen Dye, Justin Tate from Barbados, my tech friend. Mark Mulcahy. Mark Mulcahy? I've never tried to say it before, so now I don't know. Send me a DM, Mark. Peter Winters here. Roger Addison. Sorry, you're not supposed to clap on a microphone, but I don't care. Simon Mason, Matthew Causey, who we haven't seen for a few weeks, but it's okay. I know he's going to be back soon. The Professor Gideon Davies, Simon Webb, and Alex Weissensale. So thank you very much. And I'm just going to keep thanking you every month because I'm so excited that you do it. There you are. Dude, like you are kind of young for me. Like in comparison, I am very much. There you go. Okay, let me just, because I've messed up my stream deck. There you go. Don't forget, there is the opportunity. If you don't want to do the whole green 13 membership, you're not ready for that kind of commitment, that's okay. I get it. It's the 21st century, and we have many ways to do things like be friends. If you want to support what we're doing with FH Umpires and all these great people who are helping me out, buymeacoffee.com/. I think I've changed it. Can you check it out for us here, mods? Check out that link. It might be FH Umpires now because I'm starting doing a little side thing. A side thing. I know. Wait, see if I had my sounds ready and I went to the second bake and then I said things like a side thing and then I did this. You'd think that was pretty cool. It still works. Okay, so I haven't switched it. Yeah, I've got some weird conflicts going on there. Doesn't matter. Okay. Last thing to talk about, though, tomorrow. Martin Madden is joining me on Umpire at Home, and I'm really... do I say really excited too much? I do. I am so enthused. I am... I don't even know what else to say. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. And you're probably looking at me saying, Keely, I've seen Martin Madden on the pitch, and how is it? Trust, you do not know what you are in for. It's going to be really, really great. And he's going to show us a side of his personality that maybe we don't see as often on the pitch. Can't wait. So please tune in same time tomorrow on the eve of the European Championship. So Friday, it all starts going down. I've been moving my sleep pattern because I'm getting ready to get up at 4 o'clock a.m. every day for the matches. So I can watch them live and experience the joy that is international hockey. And there you go. Feds is not wrong. But I was surprised. I was very surprised. Lou's here. Good to have you. Okay. Can we get into some questions? I have some questions. Let's get through them, okay? I got a few short ones and then some longer ones. And as always, I want to hear your input, your nuances, your wonderment, your puzzlement. Anything you want to get into. Okay, here's the first one. And this is from, oh goodness. I cut off the name and I think this is, yes, Naomi Zerner sent me this question, I think from Australia, because she said, 4 a.m. is going to be a little harsh for me. And I'm like, cool, don't worry. We got a replay. So say hi to Naomi because she's probably going to be sad that she missed this live. Brian's here. And he said hello. Thank you, Brian. Okay. The question was, have you been watching some of the games? Yes, I watch all the games. And it seems that there's not a lot of following of Rule 2.4 in terms of players only being able to leave the pitch for refreshments and substitutions at and around 5 meters of the center line or stepping off the pitch to put on their masks and such. So she wanted to know where we draw the line. when it should be allowed, and thinking that, they gained an advantage in the instances she was seeing when the players were running off the pitch in order to get around the opposition so that they could pick up the ball or get in line for a pass elsewhere. And yes, I'm covering in the session. There you go. So I'd like to hear about this from you as well. And I will give you my input as well. Godders, you have a double umpiring. Yes. Okay. Oh, no problem. But yes, it's going to be very good. So look forward to that. Are we going to chat about attackers going to ground? Not today, Feds, because I have a very good clip that I want to go through, but I need to go through it with the umpires first and make sure that they're cool before I bring it here, because it's a really interesting example. It's interesting footage because we have a couple of different angles. And anyway, sorry, we're going to do it next week. Yes, we will talk about diving. So there you go. Simon says, hi, great question. All right. So this is what we are looking at is Rule 2.4, which is kind of on my face. So players who leave the field for injury treatment, refreshment, to change equipment, or for some reason other than substitution are only permitted to re-enter between the 23-meter areas on the side of the field used for substitutions. So if you're doing that, we know where you have to substitute, but this is other instances aside from substitutions, or when you're leaving to put on your face mask at a penalty corner. So my advice to Naomi and to all of you around is I'd like you to consider exactly what the advantage is that's gained, because what is this rule trying to address? As always, let's get back to principles. What is the purpose of this? And this is so that players can't step off the field in one place and then somebody enter in as a sub elsewhere, so that umpires can't get confused as to who is supposed to be on the pitch and who's not, how many players are on the pitch, and that players aren't, or teams aren't then like, oh, the ball's being outlet up the field, I'm just going to step off the pitch, get some refreshment, somebody else is going to take my place up the pitch, pick up the ball. Like, oh my God, what did they do in Star Trek? Teleportation. So you're stopping teleportation from occurring. That's the purpose of this, is no ambiguity, no confusion. Now, if a player is trying to run after a ball and pick it up or get in line or something like that, is there any confusion as to whether that player is still part of the play and engaging in the game? That's my question. And will you give me the answer, or will I give the answer? Okay, I'm gonna hear yes a little bit. Here's Goddard's. His input is that the players have to be allowed to leave the pitch to avoid contact with the other players. That's one reason, and one good example is that for me to apply the rule to not let players step out, like literally in their running path as they're trying to play the ball or be involved in the play, to stop them from doing that, I think is on the side of being pedantic about that rule. And it's not the damage that we're trying to stop. Yes, it's good for them. It helps them, but advantage isn't just that it helps them. Advantage is that you break a rule in such a way that it disadvantages the opposition because they can't break that rule either, or shouldn't be breaking that rule. What I'm saying is, nah, this is cool. I'm just saying it. It's cool. So it's the leaving the pitch and pretending that you're not playing anymore. That's what we're looking for. That's what we would crack down on. And that's what we would be talking to the captains about. Do you see the difference there? I don't know if I really said that very clearly. I certainly picked up Simon's Simon's ears because I said, "Banant." Yeah, there you go. Okay. Cat. I've always just thought that it's happening around the goal box. I mean, that's another thing, right? But Naomi's probably talking about the situations where the umpires are the sole arbiters of what's going on, that they don't have a technical table or anything like that. But yes, if it got to the point that there was something advantageous going on, absolutely the technical table would step in. So I wouldn't be worried about that. And yes, okay. Some Eagles in the audience, absolutely right. Hale leaving the pitch. Let's suspend momentum and problem solved. I don't know if you're talking about some fancy science thing that hasn't been invented yet, but there you go. Yes, and so both Godders and Feds. It's great to see you, by the way, Alex. You don't join in very often, and now you're here. So yes, there is a specific rule that prohibits players from running behind the goal. And why is there a specific rule around that? Because they're hiding. They could be hiding, and they're also, they're also distracting what's happening around the goal. So those are the two things. And again, that is the intention. Are they trying to be deceptive about whether they're still involved in the play or not? And that's a very specifically geared element. Everywhere else on the pitch, I wouldn't worry about it. We deal with this in indoor when players may be awarded a free push very close to the boards. And even if you move it in a meter, you're still, like, your feet and your stick, you don't have room to do your stuff. And players are like, can I step outside the board so I can play this ball? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not a monster, right? Like, what harm are we preventing to the other team? So there you go. Yes, using the goal as a screen. Yes, because it stops the opposition. It could stop the opposition from being able to mark you properly. Whereas that problem doesn't exist because you're not using an obstacle to conduct that screening. Peter, I guess that's the end of the men's seventh cigarette break when the ball's at the other end. Look, I'm not bothered. Although I don't approve of smoking. I'd be bothered about that. Okay, so number one, done and dusted. Look at that, 12:34, I'm doing fine. Here's the next one, giving cards for substitutions. So Shelley asked, and Shelley is from Western Australia, and I can't see. She asked, she thinks she's answered her own question, but I'll be the judge of that. Two players substitute for each other near my defensive 23. I went to card the captain for the incorrect substitution, but the captain was not on. Now, I am interpreting this that it wasn't that the captain was like red carded, no longer available, but just that the captain was not on the playing field, but on the bench. And no one else was nominated as the captain. I sent the player off who subbed on in absence of the captain. I feel I should have swapped the captain for the subbed player rather than having the captain serve 2-minute suspension and the player subbed would return to the dugout. My thoughts. So what you do here is, yes, just sub the captain. Players on the bench can be carded. End of story. So you need to have an active captain who isn't suspended from play and has been deprived of the ability to participate in the play because they have been green, yellow, or red carded. So technically, if a captain gets, green carded for 2 minutes, banned off somebody else. Generally, you don't do that. Generally, you're really more worried about it for a yellow card or something like that. But you would take the captain, award them the cards, sit them down, and then the team elects how they're going to have 10 players on the pitch. So who are they going to take off? They get to choose. That's it. Just popping back to the other question. Yep. I'm never going to say these names properly. I apologize in advance. What would the penalty be if the defender does run behind the goal? If they gain an advantage, just like every attacking foul that happens inside the circle, it's a free hit the other way. So usually this would happen, for example, if a team were playing at the London Olympics and somebody ran behind the goal and the player who... it's a famous clip. I should have brought it out, but I didn't. If it's noticed and it has an impact on the play, free hit goes the other way. That's it. And hopefully you've been able to make that call before the ball's gone in the goal or a stroke or a penalty corner has been awarded because awkward. Okay, Feds, yes, you card the captain. The team chooses, it comes off. It doesn't have to be the player who came on. And ask who the new captain is. Absolutely. Good follow-up, Feds, that you do need to, because now you have suspended that captain. So there you go. Okay. Rachel was watching that game from the stands. That would have been... Okay. There you go. Gopi, if you're not sure, if I didn't explain that well enough, please do ask a follow-up, okay? I'm not sure if you're just saying that you were wrong as to the answer before the answers came out, and now you're cool and you're straight. If you're not, I don't want you to be twisted, so you make sure you chirp up and let me know if there's something I can better explain for you, okay? And... here we go. This is the non-video stream. This is so weird. All I have are like written questions over and over again, which is kind of weird for me. I'm used to having some videos to show off, but it's all good. Hugo, hi, how are you doing? I'm loving all the content that's been coming out, and it's been great to keep up when competition is canceled. Wanted to ask a follow-up to the whole Hoofdklasse final red card situation. He follows my logic on a green or yellow card for such a dive as Brinkman took, but wondering how I would sell such a decision to players and coaches. And the follow-up was that he actually asked Koen van Bugge a couple days ago, and he said never to give cards for that, since it's too rare a situation and you wouldn't be able to sell it, and the players made enough of a fool out of themselves already, and it wouldn't help with the confusion. So he's asking the umpire whisperer. It's caught on! One person said it. There you go. And again, I don't have all the answers. I just have some answers. So, yeah. So what's really interesting, pull out the PDF of the rules of hockey and like, ooh, I wonder if I can do this right now. Let's see if I can do this right now on the fly. Oh, people, I am so ambitious. I'm crazy, but I'm going to try to NDI in my preview. File, preview. Let's try this. And then I go here. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. How are things? You feeling good? It didn't work. It's somewhere. Okay. But if you take your preview, oh, I could do it this way. Nope, still didn't work. Go to the rules of hockey, go to the PDF, and this is a fun thing that you can do with the rules when you've got them in a digitized form like this, is you can actually search for words. Search for dissent, appealing. Search for violence. Search for things that we card for on a very regular basis in the rules and find the actual section of the rule book that allows us to do that. I'll wait. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to wait because, that's not what I was supposed to do. Because, friends, you're not going to find it. We green card, yellow card, whatever for dissent all the time, and it's nowhere in the rule book that says we can do it. It is a general form of misconduct that isn't an offense against the other team, which is what the rules deal with. Almost entirely are offenses against the opposition that disadvantage them in the course of the game. The way in which we shape the game and we conduct it by our utilization of personal penalties is within our discretion. And it's generally this right here. Conduct of play. Players are required to act responsibly at all times. Or, as I like to call it, the don't be a jerk rule. So, here's the thing. By not enumerating the grounds of what misconduct can be, if you went to law school, what you learned is that it's better sometimes for rules or laws to be vague so that you can interpret them within the spirit of what's happening and not be confined by particular things. Because people could say, well, it says that you can't talk, you can't swear at the umpire. I'm not swearing, so I'm allowed to still abuse you. It's not specifically listed as a grounds of misconduct, so I'm going to do one of these other things that is equally jerky, and you can't punish me for it. Ixnay on that one, friends. Like, we're not stupid. So, dissent is in the rule book. Diving isn't in the rule book. But that said, we're not going to jump out there and just, make up reasons for things that we don't like. But as I said the other week when we were discussing the hood class thing, this is not just a rare occasion. Rare occasions, when they're not dealt with, turn into repeat events. Brinkman did a very similar thing in the EHL finals 2 or 3 weeks ago. This is a pattern. This isn't a one-off, never happened before. The same player. And then that player goes on to score the winning goal in that hoofed class game. And went on to score 3 goals in that final against Athletic Terrassa. I'm not saying that it's about punishing that player, but I'm saying that there is an impact to this behavior, and we're seeing it over and over again, and we have to start dealing with it. Now, I can understand from, let's see if I go back to it. And let me bring back this, and let me bring back this, and remove this, okay? They've already made enough of a fool out of themselves. It's really rare, blah, blah, blah. I can see I can understand, and we've all been in situations in big games where we're like, well, why am I going to break out of the mold and do something big? This was big. This was a novel situation, and it's really hard to react. It's really, really hard the first time you see something to deal with it appropriately. But this is my invitation and my challenge to the top umpires is that all of us at home might see this tomorrow. The next time we go on the pitch, we might see a player do that. And they're going to be like, well, we saw Brinkman do it, and it's cool. He didn't get punished. I mean, everybody laughed at him, but, the red card was given, and he went on to score the winning goal. So it's all good, right? The buck has to stop somewhere, and we don't want it to be you or me on our lower level game walking out there and setting a precedent, because that's what the players hate. They hate all of a sudden something happening and they go, well, that's not what we see at the top level. So how do we do it? The top level has to lead the way. And they need to be the ones showing us that this is unacceptable. That's my argument. And I get that in big games with big consequences, it's tough. So I'm not speaking, this isn't a criticism. This is a counter argument to a very valid point that I think is just a little bit stronger. That's my jam there. Let's see what you guys have to say. Godders, you don't disagree. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with, the top umpires and umpire managers on a regular basis. But yes, I do on this occasion as well. Yeah, it's definitely not in the rules. Hi, Michael Rostar. It's lovely to see you. Welcome. Are you new? Yes. Okay. There you go. Everybody's saying hi and welcome to Michael. Oh my God. We're just so friendly here. It's good to see you. Okay. Scott, standards need to be set and sometimes umpires will need to step in. Yeah. And this is my argument here, folks. It is starting to happen. And what do you think years ago when the first player dove on a football pitch? What do you think the referees said? They probably said, oh, well, that was dumb. That guy was a fool. But we don't have to intervene. It's fine. It's not going to cause a problem. And then it happened again. And then it happened again. And it happened again. It's like, oh, at some point we're going to have to step in and deal with this. And then you have the debacle that sport is today. And how? How do you put the horses back in the barn? You don't. We have to barricade the horses right now. Right now. I hope that's... Oh, and here we go. Here's the football arguments. Godders that happen, unpunished dissent from premier players. Exactly. And it goes into the grassroots game, and then we lack the precedent, we lack the leadership, and we lack the tools and the experience to deal with it ourselves. That's not fair. Don't put that on us. We need the leadership at the top. Football has rules against simulation diving because it happens so often. Yeah, but I bet they got put in after it started happening because nobody's thinking, oh yeah, people are going to fake stuff. Do you think back in 1840, the guys, looking at the rule book were like, yeah, we should really put a provision in there in case somebody starts simulating? Probably not. I'm just guessing. But some creative player somewhere, and this is why rules evolve and they change and our interpretation changes, because players are smart, coaches are smart, fans are smart. We have to respond to how the game changes. And this is one way that we're going to have to start doing it. But it doesn't get punished. Why doesn't it get punished, friends? Explain to me in football. If you even got the bloody rules, I believe we have the power anyway, but we don't have the cultural tradition of punishing it. Why doesn't it happen in football? Because culturally, it's not done. So who has to start doing it? Because I think it's pretty clear we don't want hockey to be football, do we? Please, somebody tell me that that's what we want in our game and explain it, and I'll listen. Don't simply apply the don't be a jerk rule every time, every single time. Emojis. Yeah. And if you could induce red cards in hockey, because an umpire doesn't quite see it, and then their brain fills in the information because they see a diving player, that's a big advantage. It's advantageous. and it disadvantages the opposition. And that needs to be dealt with. Leela, bring back offsides and roll-ins. No, I hated offsides and I was a defender. There we go. Oh gosh, don't get me started, Simon. On the Half Court Press podcast that I was on recently, if you haven't listened to it yet, go have a look. FH Umpires /HCP3 mods. Put that in the chat for us, if you would. I may have talked about my lack of affection for hockey fives. It was a good rant. A few times. Correct, Mr. Riley. Okay, so that's my response. And I hope that this is a conversation we need to have. We need to talk about this, and we need to do this by way of consensus with leadership from the top. There's a lot of things that happen in our game, a lot of changes to rules and interpretations that we don't talk about enough, and we don't, we don't like convince each other of the parameters, the reasons why we do it, the reasons why we wouldn't do it here, the limitations, the exceptions, all those kind of things. If we had more conversations like this on a regular basis, I think we'd do a better job. And I'm all about doing a better job. That's just my whole thing. We don't want diving in hockey to nip in the bud with punishment, 10-minute yellow card. I mean, I don't even know if you have to go that far yet. And part of the cultural aspect of selling it is maybe not like, maybe it's appropriate to step that back a little bit. I mean, my recommendation, my feeling when I saw that live was red for the stick guy and green for Brinkman. Red for the stick guy. Red for the divider. I can't remember what his name was. Red for the perpetrator and green for the dive. And I think that if you pick it early enough, that might be just like a, whoa, wow, we've never seen a green card for diving before. Everybody starts talking about it, becomes a thing that people realize we don't want. DeRitter, thank you, Yop. I was close. Okay, we don't need to dox him. We just want his last name. Okay, there we go. How we doing? 12:54. Oh my goodness. I had very sage advice from my mods telling me I should do the short questions first because I'm really bad at keeping time. Raj, it would be helpful if this happens at the European Championships. An umpire should be allowed to the video umpire if a fall was a foul, a trip, or a dive. As you said, it stopped at top level. Yeah, it needs to flow from there with full knowledge of everybody that it's coming. As best we can, right? As best we can, but we need to communicate these things worldwide. And I think it'll happen. That will bring me into my next topic quite nicely, because I'm going to be presenting the flip side of this. Look, I'm all about the gray areas and the nuances, friends. I'm here for this. Yes, just needs to be an effective intervention that sends the message. Yeah, just don't do anything. Go pee. It's like 12:30 for him. AM. Because remember, they're 14 and a half hours ahead of me. No, it's all good. That happens to me all the time on YouTube as well. I'm like, 200 characters. I can't possibly say all I need to say. Oh, there you go. Okay. So, this happened on the Facebooks. This was the original question. And then I had follow-up sent to me, but you may have seen this on a particular group where this umpire asked about 5 meters in goalkeepers, a massive aerial. Okay, look. I don't want to be a pedant, but we need to spell words correctly in cases like this because search. if we're going to take advantage of digital knowledge accessible worldwide, we need to spell the words properly. Ariel. Here, wait, I'm going to put it here. There you go. Okay. So that when you go onto fhumpires.com and you search for all the Ariels, if you spell it like the mermaid, you're not going to find any information. There you go. Okay. So the massive Ariel's played for the D, towards the D. Am I making friends today? Probably not. It has some serious height to it. I'm walking out to try to gauge the landing point in the D. I have feelings about landing points. The attacker is chasing and picks the ball out of the air above shoulder in front of me, well within 5 meters. The discussion that ensued from this was an absolute show. Okay. So if you were following this, you probably have no idea what the answer might be. Sorry, that's hilarious. You probably don't find anything either. I don't have mermaid hair yet. I'm working on it. So, one of the problems is that discussions like this that are based on words, describing a play, are very, very difficult to have. This is why I bring in clips all the time, friends, because what you see as well within 5 meters, I can say those words, but what's well within 5 meters? 4 meters? 3 meters? 2 meters? 1 meter? Less? More? Like, well within 5 meters could be 4.95 meters. So we really struggle to be precise enough to paint the picture with all of the visual pieces of information that we take into account when we make decisions. So that's the first problem with this kind of thing. The next point about this, so this is, oh, wait. So Naomi asked this. Oh, man. I can't remember who asked the other one then. Okay, I'm going to look it up and I'm going to correct it on the YouTubes later. So Naomi sent this over and asked, right, the other problem that came out of that whole discussion is that one dude decided to chirp in and say that goalkeepers aren't to be protected from danger because they have equipment on, and that he was a Belgian national umpire and everybody should listen to him. There are not enough sound effects for that. Wrong. End of story. And I know you guys all know this. I know you friends, you're smart, and we talk about this all the time, and you're all on board. But this is what happens sometimes on the internets, is that people start saying really, really crazy things, and it completely derailed that conversation. But here it comes from Naomi. You know, I reckon the attacker has shown great skill in bringing the ball down and don't want to penalize good skill. On the other hand, the goalkeeper is padded up and protected. That's actually the same side of that coin. The goalkeeper is padded up and protected. Do we still apply the danger rule? I also think the attacker would probably have more success in bringing the ball to ground safely than a goalkeeper. No respect to goalkeepers. Okay, all of you, take a knee. Slow your rolls, big rigs. Don't get all upset. I actually think that goalkeepers have more tools at their disposal to bring balls out of the air in a safe manner. Maybe not as controlled, but definitely in a safe manner, because they get to use everything. They got this, they got this, they got their stick, they got this, they got this, they got like feet, leg guards, hips, butts. They got everything that they can use to play the ball. We only have the stick. So, there you go. I can't. Fine. Okay, so Goddard started with this. What happens if you search for mermaid? You end up under the sea, says Gary. Wait, do I have any? Do I have any laughters? I don't know if I have any laughters. Oh, I do. Oh no, that's not laughter. That'll work. So that's for Gary. But then Godders. Apparently they have 10,000 leagues down there, plenty of games. Okay, kids, let's rein it in. Fed saying goalkeepers are people too. They absolutely are. They might smell weird, but they're awesome and we need them. So there you go. Fed's arguing that he can take the ball down with his left hand pad much easier. I agree. So let's put that aside. So we know that goalkeepers should be protected from danger. And what I want to make sure that we point out is that should goalkeepers be protected from dangerous play? Absolutely. But, oh, this isn't coming up. Rule 910. Although danger is the principle, why is this not? Oh, I see. Here. Whatever. I'm doing my thing. Although the principle of danger is what informs the aerial rule is an artificial construct that we built around the concept of danger, setting out very clear parameters under which we would decide danger occurred, essentially. And as I've talked about on other shows, this is precisely the problem with making very clear rules, saying that when this like A, B, C, like boom, 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 very, very clear, you get what is now a really weird and not very universally applicable rule that we're all struggling with to apply because it doesn't make sense at all levels. So the question I think we also have to ask, because we know that goalkeepers can be, danger can be inflicted on goalkeepers. We got that. Are goalkeepers part of the aerial rule? Well, just on a basic reading of the rule, there's nothing that says that only field players are to be protected under this rule. Players must not approach within 5 meters of an opponent. And if you look at the definitions, oh, I got a big scratch on my arm. If you If you look at the definitions, you can see that goalkeepers are they are a player. They are a defender. It's all there, okay? So we know this. Kat? Yeah, right? It is a scary thought, and I don't like it. And this is why urban myths have to be squashed in the... Okay. But don't worry, we can do this. We can do this as a community, friends. It's not going to happen again. Now that we've got all that straight, that yes, goalkeepers can be initial receivers of the ball. They can be an opponent as determined under the rule and all that kind of stuff. Now we have to talk about the actual part of this, the actual question that this person had. Let me turn that off. And I think I've been talking about this. We've had a hot minute with this idea of interceptions. We've had a hot minute with the whole idea that the disc of 5 meters painted on the ground around the player is not an effective way to determine, like, it doesn't work as the marker for 5 meters to help us define danger. What could be dangerous and therefore should be protected under 9.10. And what you're going to see at the Euros, for better or worse, is you're going to see an approach that allows safe interceptions of the ball. Now, for those of you who hang out on my watch parties or have been on other What Up Wednesday live streams, we've talked about this. We've talked about how this is the way things are going, that interceptions that are made safely are going to be permitted, especially because he's saying he's picked the ball out of the air above the shoulder. Because this is the problem with using the words landing zone and landing point and all that kind of thing, is that, hey, friends, the ball is playable at many points in its trajectory and not just where it lands on the ground. That term puts a picture in our mind of the disc around, and we start painting these circles, and it's absolutely because that's not how the game's played. We are plucking the ball at our shoulder, at our waist, above our head, all kinds of stuff. And if the trajectory of the ball is flat enough, there could be a big segment of space where any of those things could happen. Balls don't just go nicely up in the air and then land straight down. That doesn't happen. That is not how the game is played. That's not how it works. I'm going to rant about how the game is played in the modern times. And the next topic too. This is amazing. Everything's sagging into each other. So what I'm trying to say about that is that we're going to, in the workshop that Rob Tenkat and I are going to do for the FIH Academy, which is going to be on June 29th. So as we get closer and the FIH Academy actually puts out some stuff about it, you can join in. I'll be presenting this material as well on my own in the future through FH Umpires, just because it's important and it needs to get out there. But I wanted to make sure before I did anything on the topic that whatever was going to happen at Euros and whatever's going to happen in Tokyo is part of what we are educating people about. I didn't want to take the chance that I was doing some wrong things, but it's hard to get the information sometimes. But I think we have consensus as to how it's going to happen. And I'm going to do my best to help educate people that this is what's happening at the top, and we're going to figure out how to make it work as we go down the ranks. And I think it's possible. I think we can do this. Okay.
Squirrel.
I got distracted because Hila mentioned thinking back to a particular Canada GB game. I think they were playing as England at that point. And again, I wrote a big article about Barry Middleton's goal in that game and the safe interception. And I was the one, well, there were two arguments there. First of all, that it was a safe interception, but before that it wasn't an aerial, so it isn't to be judged by that criterion. That ball was a deflection, so you only judge it on danger. You aren't protecting the skill involved in intentionally passing that ball there. Therefore, we only judge it by danger, and that wasn't dangerous, so off you go, friends. Good goal, even though it was scored against Canada and it was the turning point in the game. Hashtag life choices. Godders, if you don't protect keepers, you might as well get everybody padded up and call it rollerball like the movie. Yeah, and if you follow Self Pass, Bernardo Fernandez is Self Pass on Twitter especially, he likes to talk a lot about how he thinks everybody in the game should have helmets on. And that drives me absolutely up the bend. Because first of all, science has told us that that isn't going to keep anybody safer. Second of all, B of all, we're going to start just acting less responsibly because we perceive our opponents to be safe because of this falsely secure equipment they're wearing. So, ixnay on that. I hate that idea. That's another good point, Scott, because that phrasing doesn't take into account the way that control doesn't necessarily mean on the ground. When it says controlled and on the ground, we read that as a, what's the logic concept? The two things must exist, A plus B, but you can't minus the whatever. That those two conditions have to exist in order for it to now be tackleable. Instead of controlled or on the ground. I think the or would be a better conjunction. It would be the better word to use instead of and. Because now we think the two of them are necessary, and that doesn't work. So that's a really good point, Scott. I like that. Obviously, if the receiver controls the ball in the air, they can't just walk around with everyone keeping their distance. Exactly, because otherwise they'd be making it dangerous themselves, but for others, it can be confusing. Well, they could be, but yeah, I think the reality is that 3D skills now, we know that a player can put the ball up in the air, but what makes it dangerous isn't that the ball's in the air, it's how it's played by the opponents and by the ball carrier. If the ball carrier takes that ball in the air towards and at another player, they've caused the danger. If they're dribbling away and the other player comes in and starts swinging wildly, which they're not permitted to do if the ball's on the floor anyway, they're committing the danger and they're causing it. So yeah, we're talking about like who's making the dangerous action here. And it's not simply the carte blanche, the black and white ball in air equals danger. We know that that's not true. I don't know what's happening here, but they used to laugh at Goddard when he said he wanted to be Canadian. No one's laughing now. Exactly. The union? No, that doesn't work. That's funny though. Oh, a comedian, not a Canadian. Oh, goodness. There you go. So, all of that to say that the written scenario we have no idea, but it very likely could have been a safe interception because well within 5 meters, what the European briefing is saying is at least 2 meters away. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that language. Again, it's trying to put in a distance that we're now going to measure on the ground, which is not the valid measurement. It doesn't matter what the ground distance is. It matters where the ball is moving in the air. And whether that interception is that the stick is over here or if it's over there, there's going to be totally different danger parameters. 2 meters, 5 meters, none of it matters. What matters is where things are in space up here. How many times do I have to say this before, I'm okay. I'm fine. This is what happens. I go from chirpy to this. Rant. Oh, it's a mathematical term. I apologize. I didn't know that. I didn't know. Yes, we should. We should introduce them to the joys of the What Up Wednesday live streams. There you go. Aline, yes. Hi, sorry. I saw that you came in late. Welcome. Gopi's cool. Good. Good to know. Okay. I think his comments are super delayed because they're coming from the middle of the night in India. Okay. So anything else that you need to know on that? I think I ranted really heavily. And I think I'm looking at my points. Did I make all my points? Well within new interpretations, safe interceptions. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about that other one. Okay. Good. Are you ready for our last topic? Still within Akili hour. I'm doing okay. Oh, and I have a bonus as well. Hopefully I can get to it. Here's our last one. The same group, actually, that is bringing about all of the problems. Be careful where you get your advice from, friends. Just be careful. Here's a still picture of 2 players on the field. 3, actually. 2 of one team, 1 of another. One is carrying a ball and may have a captain's band on his leg. And That's pretty much all you can make out. Come to the after party in Discord and I might talk about it. I'm just trying to be careful. So, this gentleman, now recognized as a legitimate skill, I remember playing the ball on the left and being blown for obstruction for using this technique. What is the current definition of obstruction? Not what it was 20 years ago, that's for sure. I've talked about how when I was a high performance player, how my entire game revolved around, we called it granny dodge. I think some of you may call it a nutmeg. You put the ball in between the legs and then you'd like pretend to try to go around them, and then you'd just get a body obstruction call right away. That was my entire game plan, friends. You know why? Because I sucked. I didn't have any other skills. Things have changed for the better because people like me never should have been getting that call because it wasn't actually obstruction. Okay, let's break it down. Obstruction, just like almost every other rule in the book, as I've talked about so much, is actually about danger. Why, you ask? Keely, tell me more. If a defender trying to get a hold of the ball can't reach it because something's blocking his way, what's he going to do? He's going to start thwacking away at the thing that is in the way. Probably. C, ice hockey, lacrosse, hurling, ringette, every other stick sport, field invasion stick and ball sport. Thwacking shall ensue. We, as a sport, have decided many, many moons ago that we didn't want said thwacking. We thought, what if we had rules in place that made things safe? Obstruction was born. Back when I was playing high competitive hockey, we played on grass and the game was slow AF. Was it not, friends? Please tell me I'm wrong. The game was slow. The ball moved slowly, and so everything happened much more linearly. Is that a word? I don't care. It is now. Because if you have to fight so hard to get the ball moving on grass in any way, you're not going to waste your time going in circles, are you? And going off at funky angles and doing all these really cool things that we now do in the modern game, because the modern game is fast. We're playing often on artificial turf, and we can move in all kinds of crazy directions that 25 years ago we weren't doing. That means different ball directions and different body shapes of players as they're carrying the ball. The game has changed. Obstruction isn't what it used to be because of that. For me, obstruction is moving. Let me put my glasses on because I actually worked on this a little bit. Actually, I didn't. Obstruction is moving into the space of the opposition to prevent them from accessing the ball with one's body, stick, or teammate. I can already see problems in the way I phrase that. However, so when the player in possession of the ball, or whose teammate is in possession of the ball, moves their body, stick, or themselves into the space of the opposition to prevent them from accessing the ball, that's obstruction. End of story. Okay? Because there's nothing that says that you have to be pointed and dribbling in a certain direction. You don't have to present the ball to your opposition. Say, here, would you like to attempt to tackle this? That would be very polite, but nobody's doing that. Okay? The discussion that happened on this, one person, of course, brought up the old PIT acronym, which we were all trained on if you've been around the umpiring world for long enough. And I think PIT sucks. It just doesn't work anymore. It's just not, it's too much, it's redundant, and it's not fully descriptive. Because position, the P, it's not about being in front, because what is in front now? It's just where is the defender vis-a-vis the direction the ball's moving? And the ball can be moving towards the goal, to the side, away, whatever the case might be. So it's not about just one direction of the ball anymore. The intention part is the defender actually trying to play the ball. That's just, is there actual disadvantage occurring? So we've already got a rule for that. We've already got 12.1. We're cool. So that isn't really important. And then timing is just a combination of the position and the intent and disadvantage. So really, it's about whether there's an action by the player in possession of the ball, or not in possession of the ball, but trying to get possession of the ball to stop the opposition from playing it with their stick, with their body, with their teammate, which is third-party obstruction. Okay? That's what obstruction is. But you know how you can't tell what obstruction is? Looking at a photo. I'm just going to let that marinate, because I'm going to take Doc's phrase. Let that marinate for a while. You can't see obstruction from a photo. Ever. Because you know where the ball is going, where it's been, where the defender has been, where the ball carrier's been, where they're going. Nothing. So what's happening these days is, yes, there are, as they've always been, mistakes being made as to what obstruction is. Sometimes it's called when it's not. Sometimes it isn't called when it is. These are mistakes. It doesn't mean that the entire rule has gone to pot. It just means we need to work on it a bit, and we need to keep talking about what it actually is without photographs, because they don't help. Yes, it is a world linearly. Thank you. I got the whole union wrong, so thank you for bolstering up my self-esteem again, because that was disturbing. To quote a close friend, you can't tell anything from a still picture. Is that me? Defender looks like he's flying. I think so. Don't you start, Mr. Addison. Don't you start. Upright sticks, foot behind the hook. Oh my gosh. Like, think of the ways that we used to cheat. Yes, he does win. Scott, when it comes to obstruction, while I don't use it to solely make my decision because actions matter, not just intentions, I do think about whether the player chose to put their body in the way. I find that this can help me decide whether a disadvantage has actually happened too. Yes. Yes, exactly. That's great, Scott. Well said. Still within a Keeley hour. For this situation, the defender probably has to get around the front. Like, who knows? Who knows which direction white was going, which direction the black and white stripes were going, and whether there was a pass available. And like, I can't even with all of the different things that could have been happening there. Because, and even from that, okay, fine. Even from this, it looks like the player is dribbling to the side, because I see potentially a circle, a 5-meter dash, and a 23-meter line. Maybe. I'm still in a great mood. Don't you worry. Maybe not, but we're looking for a sustained, if the positioning is, I'm going to block you from making a tackle, that's different from, I'm going to position my body in this way because I'm about to pass in this direction. And this body shape is a very reasonable shape to take in order to commit to that pass. So actually, feds, I win. Man, I'm such a lawyer. We've got 5 minutes left. That's good because I have one more. I mean, keep telling me that I'm wrong on this one. I dare you. Oh, what did I do to my hair? Oh, friends. Okay. I didn't even have time to put this on my, I didn't have time to clip it or anything like that. This is literally Facebook Messenger because this is what happens. I'm like doing my makeup and I'm getting messages from good friend of the show, Chris Maloney, who runs Field Hockey Discussion, I think, on Facebook. And his question was this. Oh, it's very long, so I'll try to sum it up very well. Okay, basically it has to do with substitutions happening in matches that he's been umpiring where the coach will yell, "Hold!" and play will be stopped by that coach's team. They're in possession of, say, the ball on a 15-meter free hit. Hold! They do a big wholesale substitution of 5, 6, 7 players, who knows, holding up the game. Now, as Chris described, we all know this happens in indoor at times, at levels sometimes, and you'll see in international games that, you know, all 5 field players will change and off they go. In indoor, though, the court is quite a bit smaller and it takes a lot less time. Although you can argue that because the time is already compressed in indoor and you're only working with 20-minute halves anyway, that the impact of that hold in the substitution actually takes quite a bit of time off the game. Interesting point. However, we'll work with this for a second. So what Chris was describing is a substitution process that can take 20 to 30 seconds. And so his question to me was, do you see this anywhere else in the world? And should he be carding for time wasting on this? Now, like with everything, there is proactivity, there are management steps, there's a control elevator. So the first time you see it, don't just like whip out your card to the captain and be like, yeah, gotcha. We're not like that. We're not monsters. So you're going to use your proactive tools. And as Chris described it to me that, he was doing that. But he actually had to card both teams for doing this in a game. And he was told that he had 3 heads, basically. Or he was looked at like he had 3 heads, that this should just be part of the game. What do y'all think? So I pointed out to him, hey, just for interest, you may see in international matches that the entire substitution bench, which could be, say at the Olympics, 5 players, could be even 6 or 7 at other competitions where 18 players are allowed on the bench, that you'll see at the 7.5 minute mark of a quarter, all of a sudden there's going to be an interchange like that. At no point do the teams stop playing. What they actually do is they start just hitting the ball around the backfield quite passively. And if you're watching the game on a broadcast, you might say, wow, that's really passive, pointless play. Actually, what they're doing is they're just keeping the ball in motion so that they're not time wasting, but not trying to do anything constructive because they're trying to give their team a chance to get their subs in. That's what that's about. Hot tip for you. Freds, 100% be proactive. It's a hard sell. It is a hard sell, but if the teams are doing it at different times and it has the effect of time wasting, 20 to 30 seconds is a lot of time. And if my team was up by a goal and I decided to run a big substitution and not play the ball because we think we're entitled to do that, well, that would be a really good cheat on my part. And if I knew I could get away with it, I absolutely would. And I would run subs every 3 minutes. How do you like them apples? Like, that's the kind of devious stuff I do when I play. And that's why umpires have to be good. Otherwise, I'm a cheat. Yes, caution them, then card them. But absolutely, like, is there anybody here who's thinking, oh no, that's a totally reasonable way to play and we should just let them do that? Absolutely, Lou. Caution them, then card them. Simon, had one side making about 6 subs when the other side had a 60-meter hit out. You were trying to get them to play this 50-meter hit, but the defender insisted on waiting until the substitutions were complete. That's exactly the situation we're talking about. Good teams find a way to rotate. Do not allow any unusual delay. Yes. And the problem is this, friends. The problem is this, is that if you let it happen in the first quarter and you let it happen in the second quarter and you let it happen in the third quarter, when it is a tactical advantage for the teams to do in the fourth quarter because the game's winding down, it's a 1-goal difference, you are not going to be able to deal with it because you are being inconsistent and arbitrary. That's why we deal with things evenly throughout the game and we do it early so that we set the precedent so that the game is fair and even and flowing and safe in the crunch moments at the business end of the game. And so none of the commentators can say as they're watching, where did that come from? Yes, I'm all about the elevator. I've done a workshop on the control elevator. But there you go. Catch the elevator. Because elevators can go from like the 4th floor to the 3rd floor and then go up to the 5th floor. And then, you know, sometimes go back down to ground, main, 1. But most efficiently, it goes up. Ladders, it's harder to do that when you're climbing a ladder. It's also a lot more work. Yes. I would absolutely warn them. And I'd talk to the captain because the captain should be responsible for that. Chris, I've also reversed the free hit. Yes. And we've talked about it. And then the carding. Yeah. So Chris, you and I, when we were talking in the DMs, you mentioned that you saw my Ruler Tuesday. And I think you've seen that I'm not a massive fan of reversing free hits. I'm not, because I just... When you weigh out what it means between the two, especially when you let the teams reassemble, like you said you would, in that situation, what are you really giving the team? The ball changes possession so often in our game, even at the top levels. One bit of possession in a geographically good area is like, really, does it matter? You might think it does, but that 2-minute green card, that 5-minute yellow, now that is a message that's good. I feel that carding the team for that kind of misconduct is the better approach. Simon, in Simon's scenario, the defender's wasting a great opportunity by waiting when they don't need to. They're kind of punishing. Oh, was it the flip way? Oh, sorry. My bad, Simon. I know. I would be like, oh, you're disorganized. You don't have enough players and your structure is all amiss. Watch me hit this ball all the way up to the other side, the other end of the field. Yes, captains. Yep, sorry. They were being polite. I mean, you can't... yeah. Talk to them sternly. Put your angry eyes in. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, I feel like it's ineffective to actually address the situation. I don't know a better way to describe it. But I bet my Ruler Tuesday had it in there better. Reversing the free hit. Yeah, it was the one that I just put out on Tuesday, or reissued on Tuesday. So, yeah, have a look at that. There you go. Well, friends, it has been a Keeley hour. I am ready to move over to the Discord server and keep going. I'm gonna grab myself some fresh tea and some snacks, because snacks are good. So if you want to join in, hop over to the Discord. I think we might do a voice channel in the yellow, but we'll see what's happening. Voice for yellow members so that you guys can join in and chat back, which is super, super fun. Godders, you're very welcome. I love having you here. I really enjoy your input. You're very welcome, Brad. Nice to see you. I think you saw my my kayaking pictures as well. So there's the link for the Discord channel as well, so that you have it. And, you know, don't worry, we'll be there for a little while, pop in and out. And that's the whole thing about Discord, is that, you know, you could pop in later and I might still be there. But I'm just saying that, like, right now, I'm definitely going to be there for a while. Okay. I am, like, delighted that I finally saw you, old friend. Where have you been in my life? Come on, man. Get back on the horse. Rachel Davids, of course. Love having you around. And yeah, we did. It means I made it. Thanks, mods. You guys were great tonight. Thank you for keeping everything under control. You didn't keep me on time as well as I'd want, but there you go. Excellent, Gopi. I'm glad we'll see you tomorrow. If you have any questions for Martin, make sure you get them ready. And I would love to share them with Martin, because it's going to be fun. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just keep using your voice, keep the captains going. And like the first time it happens, you might even just stop time and have a word with the captain and say, this is the delay I'm talking about. And I'm stopping time because I don't want you to eat up any more of the clock. Get it moving. We do not hold for subs. That isn't a part of our game. Get it going. It's too big. Okay. And you're correcting the disadvantage that you don't want to see, which is the time getting eaten off the clock because you're stopping it. See if that works. Okay. Just a suggestion. You're welcome, Jane. I'm glad you were here. Lucio, you the man. Good to see you. We will see you tomorrow, Rachel. Great. You're very welcome. My little place. Which one of my rants was the highlight today? Who knows? We'll find out in the Discord after party. And you're very welcome, Simon. Great to have you. See you on the Discord. And friends, stay safe and see you tomorrow. Umpire Horn. Martin Madden, same time, same place. You're welcome.